The future has spoilers, but it still rules.
The fortune teller, oracle, or prophet archetype is a staple in all kinds of media. Imagine a ragged old hag in a cave, a circus coin machine, a witch in the woods, or the narrator of a prophecy, and you'll get the picture. Whether it's the weird sisters from Macbeth, Tiresias in Sophocles' Oedipus Rex, or Madame Clairvoyant in the modern masterpiece Luigi's Mansion, fortune tellers are inescapable in media, and for good reason. They serve as efficient literary devices. Given that their role is to foreshadow upcoming events, many of these characters have a similar demeanor. They're often dreary, foreboding, and ominous. Then there's Future Devil, whose introduction is punctuated by its jovial attitude despite the gloomy setting and circumstance. Future Devil's cheerful demeanor sets it apart from other characters of its ilk, and yet the eerie sense of bad things to come is not only preserved, but magnified by the contrast it creates and the context that surrounds it. In Chainsaw Man, a devil's power is proportional to how much their name is feared. One of the reasons this is so clever is that it contextualizes what might otherwise be abstract monsters, with no real-world equivalent, and engages the reader by asking them to utilize their real-life experience, grounding the setting in the process. It's hard to picture the strength of a made-up creature, but how about the social or innate level of fear surrounding a concept? If your heart's ever skipped a beat when hearing a ghost story, if you've ever seen a spider and stopped dead in your tracks, or if you've ever found yourself alone in the dark. Then you've got an idea of how powerful these devils are, and what it might feel like to face them. With that in mind, how does the future make you feel? Maybe you've experienced that directionless apathy that comes with not knowing how things will turn out. Maybe anxiety has gripped you in those moments of solitude, pondering what happens next. Maybe you've been scared to lose your livelihood to an accident, or a recession, or a pandemic. It's with this context that we're first introduced to Future Devil. While Denji and Power undergo grueling training to defend themselves against devil threats after a devastating loss, Aki Hayakawa makes his way through an industrial warehouse in disrepair, refitted to be a containment facility for captured devils, accompanied by 2 other public safety officers, in order to secure a devil contract to better keep his friends safe. The 3 stop at an imposing, rusted-over metal door, while Kurose remarks that the devil Aki's about to meet has exacted steep prices for contracts in the past. As the door creaks open, a single eyeball stares out from the pitch-black void inside the cell before the chant can be heard.
The future rules. The future rules. The future rules!
The devil urges Aki to look into its belly so that it can see his future, and then lays out the terms of the contract. Slowly, the devil opens its eyes before asking Aki if he'd like to know how he dies. The scene then closes with Aki refusing, one of the defining moments for his character. In a series with so much suffering, it's telling that the only character whose gleeful laughter, cheering, and dancing permeate every one of its appearances is the only one that can see the future. Aki mentions that all devils yearn for the deaths of humans. Power calls this hatred a demonic instinct. Knowing exactly what Future Devil is so ecstatic about turns this jubilant character from silly comic relief into a sinister presence instantaneously. In just these 2 chapters, the juxtaposition of the ominous setting and the harrowing circumstance with the downright goofy behavior of the subject at hand lends the scene both a tension curve typical of the horror genre and the catharsis of a comedy. These two extremes so seamlessly blend together that it's initially hard to notice the trick at all. In a lot of ways, these few pages exemplify some of the best qualities of Chainsaw Man. All at once, they evoke fear and bewilderment. They show off charming, dynamic, believable characters. They keep the audience engaged, and they do it all with the beautifully rendered, grungy, sketchy style that author Tatsuki Fujimoto has come to be known for. In the end, it's hard not to love Future Devil. Its eccentricities so perfectly encapsulate this paradoxical stew of emotions, and they're so instantly charismatic that it can be difficult not to find oneself cheering for the future with it.